Beginning. I was never supposed to set foot on a Xyrillian dreadnought again, let alone as a prisoner. The last time I'd seen the inside of one, I'd been on a battlefield, soaked in the blood of war, running on half a lung and pure adrenaline. The Xyrillians called me the berserker species. Humans had earned the title the hard way. But this time I wasn't here to fight. Cold magnetic cuffs locked my wrists behind my back as two 8-foot insectoid Xyrillians shoved me down a corridor made of living metal. Organic tubes pulsed under my boots, matching the heartbeat of the ship. Their pheromone stink made my throat tighten. They hiss-clicked something to each other, mockery if I knew their tone right. One of them jabbed my spine with a plasma pike. Human. Walk faster. The princess grows impatient. Princess. Yeah, that was new. Xyrillians didn't do royalty. They did queens and hive mothers. But princess meant something else, something rarer. A genetic heir. A xenobiologist's wet dream. A diplomat's nightmare. As I was pushed into a vast throne chamber, my eyes adjusted to violet bioluminescence. Vines of glowing neural tissue lined the walls. Insects scurried along the ceiling like pieces of the architecture had come alive. Then I saw her. The Xyrillian princess stood tall, nearly 7 feet, her exoskeleton shimmering like cut amethyst, long fractal horns rising from her crown plates. Her 4 luminous eyes narrowed at me, studying me like a disappointing research sample. So, she clicked in galactic standard. This is the fragile creature who annihilated my vanguard brood on Kalaris 4. I clenched my jaw. I remembered that battle. I remembered a field of fire. I did what I had to, I said. She waved a claw dismissively. Humans are brittle. Soft. Quick to bleed. Quick to scream. How did something like you slaughter so many of my warriors? I didn't respond. Not yet. She circled me slowly. Each movement was graceful and predatory. Her leg spines scraped the floor like metal spears. You're small for a warrior, she said. Your flesh looks weak. Your bones underdeveloped. Your scent indicates high fear hormones. My heart was steady, but she didn't know that. Xyrillians misread human biochemistry. If you brought me here just to insult my species, I said, you could have sent a message. She stopped behind me. No, human. I brought you here for proof. Proof of what? That your kind is not worthy of life. My pulse spiked. She leaned close to my ear. If you cannot show strength equivalent to what the rumors say, I will erase your species. The cuffs unlocked. The warriors stepped back. A test, she announced. A demonstration. Fight. Survive. Impress me. Or humanity dies. Wonderful. I rotated my wrists, feeling the familiar ache of old scar tissue. They'd taken my weapons, but they made a mistake. They didn't take me. The princess clicked her mandibles as 3 Xyrillian warriors emerged from a pit below. Armored, armed, taller than me. She raised a claw. Begin. They rushed me. And despite everything, I grinned. Middle. Combat was the only place where the world made sense. Where my brain stopped buzzing. Where instincts forged in too many battles took over. The first warrior swung a bladed forearm at my skull. Rookie mistake. I stepped inside his guard, grabbed the joint, and snapped it with a twist that made sharp chitin crack like dry wood. He shrieked, stumbling. The second jabbed a venom spine toward my ribs. I deflected with my forearm. Pain flared, but I'd taken worse hits from Terran shrapnel. I kicked his knee joint sideways. The socket dislocated with a pop, and he collapsed. The third was smarter, bigger, waited for an opening. He lunged, and I let him. His claws slashed across my chest, tearing my shirt, exposing the pale, interlaced web of scar tissue covering my torso. Dozens of battles carved into flesh. Xyrillian venom dripped onto my skin, but my implants neutralized it on contact, sparking faint blue. The princess inhaled sharply. "You are modified," she said. "No," I replied. "I'm repaired." I rammed my shoulder into the big warrior, lifting and slamming him onto the floor. His carapace cracked. I twisted his mandible until it snapped like a wishbone. Silence swallowed the chamber. I stood over the bodies, chest heaving, blood dripping down my abdomen. The princess stared at me, not in contempt, in fascination. "You are different," she murmured. "Humans adapt," I said. "We break. Then we rebuild stronger." Her upper eyes widened. "Your scars, are those from battle?" "Every one." She stepped closer. "Why did you continue fighting if your body was so damaged?" I laughed bitterly. "Because we didn't have a queen to hide behind." Her posture stiffened. A touchy subject. "Good." Before she could respond, alarms blared. The chamber shifted to red bioluminescence. A Xyrillian guard rushed in. "Princess." Terran strike fleet approaching. Multiple dreadnoughts. My stomach dropped. Terrans? Here? They had no idea I was alive or captured. She turned to me. "Your people come to rescue you?" "No," I said. Terrans don't rescue soldiers captured in deep enemy territory. Her mandibles twitched. "Then why? They're here because they think you took something from them." "What?" "Me." Her eyes widened. "And they're bringing hell with them." The dreadnought shook violently. The princess's bioluminescent crest dimmed in fear, or awe. She wasn't expecting this level of retaliation. Humans didn't leave their own behind. Not anymore. She snapped commands in her own language, and warriors scattered. She stared at me like I was something she'd underestimated her whole life. "Why do they risk so many ships for a single human soldier?" she asked quietly. I took a deep breath. "They're not here for a soldier," I said. "I'm something else." And she finally asked the question I'd been waiting for. "What are you, human?" I exhaled. Then the ship shook again, harder. Hull breach somewhere above. "Time to explain fast." "When I fought your vanguard brood," I said, "I didn't lead the attack. I was the attack." Her back spines lifted in alarm. "You are a living weapon? Technically? A human enhanced for frontline war. The Bodyofwar project." Her eyes glowed brighter. "Impossible. Humans do not augment their warriors to such extremes." "We didn't," I said, "until the Xyrillians forced us to." Another explosion rocked the dreadnought. The ceiling cracked. "That fleet outside," I said, "thinks you killed me. And if they believe I'm dead, they won't stop firing." The princess clicked her mandibles anxiously. "Then your people are mad." "No," I said, "just protective." Her eyes shifted in a way I'd never seen, a blend of dread and admiration. "Then if I want to live," she said slowly, "I must keep you alive." I nodded. "And you," she said, "must keep me alive." I hesitated. "Why you?" Her voice softened, an impossible thing for a Xyrillian. "Because if I die, the factions of my empire will wage war for centuries, and your kind will be the first to fall." Damn it. She was right. Suddenly, survival wasn't about me. It was about preventing a galaxy-wide bloodbath. I extended my hand. "Princess, stay close, and do exactly what I say." She placed her clawed hand in mine. "Human," she muttered, "if you betray me, you'll kill me." "I know." Her crest glowed faintly, Xyrillian amusement. "Good. We understand each other." The escape decks collapsed. Smoke and acidic fumes filled the hallways. We fought our way through maddened Xyrillian soldiers who didn't realize their princess had switched priorities. I grabbed a fallen plasma rifle. It hummed warm in my palms. "Your aim, human?" she asked.
"Deadly."
"Prove." I shot 2 incoming warriors between the eyes before she finished. Her crest flickered. Approving. We sprinted through collapsing corridors as Terran kinetic rounds tore through the hull. A chasm opened ahead, 30 meters across. She hissed. "We cannot cross." I grabbed her waist. She froze. "Human, do not. Hold on." I leapt. My augmented tendons strained, bones creaked, but I landed hard on the other side, knees nearly buckling. Her eyes were wide. All 4 of them. "You carried me across." "You're welcome." She stared at me like I'd rewritten the laws of physics. Humans weren't supposed to be strong. Not compared to Xyrillians. But she'd just seen the truth. Near the Yendi, we reached the escape bay and found it destroyed, shredded by Terran fire. The princess stepped forward, breathing fast. "We are trapped."
"No," I said.
"There's one more way." She tilted her head. "Explain." "The exterior spine. The Dreadnought's back. Atmospheric fins. We can ride one down during re-entry." She looked at me like I'd grown 2 heads. "That is suicide." "Only if you're not strapped to a genetically reinforced human weapon." She considered that.
"Fine," she said.
"If you die, I'll kill you."
Noted.
We punctured the hull and climbed onto the exterior, wind slamming us as the Dreadnought began losing altitude. Atmospheric flames rose below. I tied a cable around us both. The princess clung to me, her breathing frantic. "Human, this is insane."
"No."
"This is Tuesday." We jumped. Flames engulfed us. Air screamed past. Gravity clawed us downward. She buried her face against my chest plates. I held her tightly. We crashed into a forest canopy, smashing through branches before slamming into soft moss below. Silence.
Pain.
Breathing.
Alive.
Barely. She lifted her head, mandibles trembling. "You protected me with your body." "Part of the job," I wheezed. Her 4 eyes locked onto the scars across my torso. "I understand now. Humans are not weak. Never were." She touched a scar gently. "Forgive me for thinking otherwise. You weren't the first." She lowered her head. "You saved my life and my empire." I nodded weakly. "And you saved the galaxy." We lay there a long moment, breathing the same air. Then she whispered, "Human, what is your name?"
"Dane."
"Captain Dane Holt." She absorbed it slowly. "Dane," she said softly, "your people think you are dead. If they find you alive with me, they may not listen before they shoot." "I know. So, what will you do?" I stared at the smoke rising from the wreck. Something humans are very good at, and that is surviving. She smiled, a frightening, beautiful curl of her mandibles. "And something Xyrillians are very bad at." "What's that?" "Admitting when we were wrong." I chuckled. "We'll work on it." Ending, we moved through the forest until we found an abandoned Terran scout beacon. I powered it manually, sending a coded message, one only a few would recognize. She watched me closely. "Will they attack me?" she asked. "If I tell them not to, they'll listen. And if they refuse, then I'll stand between you and them." Her crest lit with surprise. "Even after all I've done to your people?" "You didn't kill me," I said. "You tried to understand me." A long silence passed. Finally, she said, "Then perhaps our species are not destined to be enemies." A Terran shuttle descended, guns lowered, Marines ready. I stepped forward with the princess beside me. My commander emerged with wide eyes. Captain Holt, you're alive. And that is the Princess of Xyrillia, I said. She's under my protection. What the hell happened? I inhaled. She thought humans were weak. And now? The princess stepped forward, towering over him. Her voice carried the weight of a future. Now I have seen the truth, she said. Your human, the one you forged into a weapon, showed me the strength of your species. Her eyes met mine. Not in muscle, not in augments, in loyalty. My commander lowered his gun. The Marines followed. And in that moment, among the burning remains of warships and the rising dawn, an alliance formed, not from treaties or negotiations, but from a single Xyrillian finally understanding what humanity truly was. Not weak, not fragile, not prey, but unbreakable. And I knew, as the shuttle doors closed around us, that the war was over, because she had seen my scars. She had seen my strength. She had seen my body of war.